Hi, guys. Welcome back to Real Love, Real Life podcast. I'm Jasmine.
And I'm Ernesto.
Whew. Well, we're going camping. I'm excited. I'm so excited to unplug. I'm literally going to pull the cord tomorrow and just relax.
Just
Finally relax. When was the last time we did something that we just, because we've gone out of town and stuff, but it's work events.
That's all it's been is work.
Yeah, it's really been work. So, and there's something so different between camping and going on vacation. Obviously I'd love to be in Hawaii, but there's something about camping that I'm
outdoors.
Just always looking forward to. First of all, I love beating everybody, wake in the morning. I wake up super early. I go and make my coffee and then I just sit there and do nothing. The kids can eat what they want. Yes, you can have a bag of chips at 6 in the morning. I don't care.
And that's when you really wake up early too.
Yeah,
You're up at the crack of dawn.
Yeah, I love camping. I love it. But anyways, just wanted to update on that. There has been a lot going on in the world lately. It is so overwhelming.
It's crazy.
And if you guys feel overwhelmed, don't worry. So do I. But I'm here to talk about it. It's so much chaos. Recently, I would still be on social media. Obviously, that's my job. I would hop on, I'd post, but I wasn't scrolling. It was so dangerous for my mental health. I'd almost be I'd go into a coma, after scrolling for a couple minutes. I'd be I need to go lay down. And then I'd go lay down and I'd just be drained. I couldn't get up. It was crazy. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's mentally draining. It's whether what side is pushing what agenda or what propaganda, it's they're just scaring you. It's turn it off. A lot of the stuff that's been going on, it's been going on for a long time. There's nothing we can really do about it unless we as, our culture or Latinos is the only way you can change stuff is not on the corner burning tires, waving a flag of another country. When this land was technically sold in 1848 for $15 million. So that's a fact. But also it's if you truly want to change stuff, you have to go get educated and change legislation or represent your state. You guys love it. Everybody has the opportunity to go to school here too. It's especially if you're majority of Latinos that come here to work, just like our parents, that just working 2 jobs. Yeah. So it's if you've been here a generation or two and it's you have to get things in motion, it's you can't just stay here and just work yourself like a work mule. There's a lot of opportunity, but there's also a lot of help. And I feel that's where it goes wrong. One thing that people that grow up, in less income areas, they don't know about, government assistance, for tuition. I think it's FAFSA or something like that.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in trade school, some guy was literally helping people get it so they can get low, paid tuition and for money for their tools.
Yeah.
So it's we nobody knew about that until he came along because he was a little bit educated on that. So it's you know what I mean? There's
feel
help. It's just we're just not taught that stuff.
Aside from we're not taught, I feel a lot of the times we use the internet for the wrong reasons, right? You could literally go on Google and search whatever you want. You can put help near me, financial help near me, and everything is going to pop up. Yeah. I just feel we get so lost in the scrolling, and just what we see instead of actually educating ourselves on it. And there's a lot of things that, on that side, political side, I don't have knowledge on, which again, I feel I'm wrong in that because I could open a book or Google and, study it, but I don't. And that's why I stay back a lot of the times. When it comes to that, I'm you know what? I'd rather not, because I don't know. I don't know too much, right?
You're not going to talk facts. You're just going to be talking with emotion.
With emotion. And especially I'm a very emotional person. So I rather like, you know what? Hey, like let me slow down. Let me take a step back. Maybe not. And I feel like as a content creator or influencer, wherever you want to put me, it's very difficult when you have like a following and you don't speak on something fast enough.
Yeah.
Like immediately when things were happening, like the protests or riots, whatever they were, I feel like immediately people were, are you going to be at so-and-so protests at this time at this day? Why aren't you speaking out about this? Why aren't you doing this? Things like that. Like, why? Like, why do you guys do that? Like, and then also I was getting messages, you know, saying that I was from this side or I was from this side, because, you know, I wasn't speaking up about it, that I was forgetting where like my roots are, and like all of these like silly things that, you know, it was like to some point kind of keeping me up at night, because I was like, do people really like think of me like that? Like I never built like the platform off of politics or anything like that. Like literally my platform has always been like cooking, plus size, excuse me, things like that. So like for people to come on and just say things like that were really hurtful. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to just take a step back.
Not only that, they don't know nothing of you.
Exactly. They don't know like the background, like where that I actually know how it is in another country, because I already lived it. I've experienced it. I feel like I'm pretty sure like 98% of the people that were messaging me mean things have never even lived in another country and experienced like what it is in another country, you know?
So you live in another country. What would you say are the differences, like from living here and living over there?
No, it's two worlds. It's like, so I was born here in Arizona, and but we would go back and forth a lot, like summers, winter vacation, winter break, we would spend it in Mexico. So, you know, there was a lot of back and forth. When I was 14, my mom did send me like with my dad for a little while, and then he sent me back. Then I was here until I was 17 again, 17, 18, around there. And then I went back to Mexico, and that's when I was in Mexico until I was like 23, 24 years old. So I would say like I've lived a big chunk of my life in Mexico. And it's totally different, especially once I was over there with kids and I saw like the real struggle. Like the second time that I went to live in Mexico, I already had 2 kids. Then I was overage, so I was like, okay, I have to get a job now. And it's funny, like in Mexico, when you're gonna apply somewhere, you already have to go in like with your application. Like you'd have to go into like a Staples, or how they call it, like a papeleria, and they sell you an application. So like every job doesn't have their own thing. You have to go into like, let's say like a store, buy one. It's like a very generic one, and already have it ready.
Oh, really?
So I did that. And the first thing that I noticed when I got my application was it was right next to my name. It had this word, it's CURP, it's CURP. And I had no idea what that was. So I asked my mom, and she's like, so that's like a number that you basically get here when you're born or when you're registered. Because in Mexico, you technically, it's not like here in the hospital, you fill out your birth certificate as soon as you're born. Usually in Mexico, like a month later, you'll go and you'll register him. Until then, that's when, you know, the kid will have like a name, all of that. She's like, so when you go and register, you'll get a CURP, which is like equivalent to a social security number in the US. I was like, oh, dang, well, I wasn't born here. How can I get one? And she's like, well, you know, you'd have to go through the process of becoming a Mexican citizen. Yeah. So when I would go and apply everywhere, they'd be like, this can't be blank. And I never thought it was like that. Like, I thought, I guess I never thought there was like immigration laws. Is that silly? Like, I never thought there was immigration laws in Mexico.
Yeah.
So I was getting turned down by everybody. Like, you don't have good, what are you doing? Like, no. So I couldn't find a job, or I couldn't get a job. And then it came time for my kids to start school, or our kids to start school. And same thing. What's his school? Oh, he doesn't have one. But here, like, my sister has kids that were born in Mexico, and they went to school here without a problem.
Yeah.
Literally just go sign them up. I don't even think you're
discriminated, or
I don't even think the schools here ask for a social security number, because I've never gave the kids social security number I just signed them up
and get a free education.
And yeah, so when I went to go sign the at this time only Kevin was going to school, he couldn't start either. So they told me, well, we first give priority to kids that are born in Mexico. And then once like the first day of school comes, if there's room, then he can start school. But if not, we have to prioritize Mexican citizens. Okay. So comes the first day of school, I go back and ask, nope, there's no room, it's full. So he had to go to a school that I had to take 2 buses. We had to take 2 buses every morning to drop him off at school to a school that did have space for him. So that's where I feel like, for starters, like, that's already so different.
Yeah, that's
right. I feel like people probably think how I used to think. There's no immigration laws in Mexico. There is. You have to have that CURP. If not, like, I couldn't open a bank account. I tried to open a bank account one time. Again, where's this? Where's these paper? No.
So it's basically, if you come over, if you're here and then like you're trying to buy stuff and you need your social security, you don't have one, they're gonna be like,
well, yeah, it's like
who are you, huh?
Right. So, people like, hear the word immigration and automatically think the worst.
Yeah, it's crazy how they've associated with like emotion.
You hear immigration, and it's like you just see somebody turn all sorts of colors, like, because they're just like, how is that allowed? No one, like, no human like is illegal, things like that. And it's like, hey, I already lived in another country, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other countries, if not all of the other countries, like, have their immigration laws.
Yeah.
So again, like, it's very different. People think that we're not free here, and I'm like, you should really try to go live somewhere else. That's one thing that gets me. When I think I was like promoting a 4th of July shirt that's coming up, right? And
that's a funny thing, guys. She was scared to promote it because she's like, the backlash. I'm like, at the end of the day, if we're not proud and back up where we live, we can't cry about it later when we lose it.
And see, that's the thing. I feel like that's where I was wrong. Like, I'm proud. I'm proud to be Mexican American. Yep. But I almost felt like I was scared to be proud to be American during these times, because I was like, I'm like, they're gonna say this and they're gonna say that. Like, I'm not really like scared of losing followers. Like, it's something that, you lose some, you gain some, things like that. I was just kind of like, I'm always just, I guess, worrying what people think or what people are going to say, which at the end of the day, I guess it doesn't really matter. But I had the shirt that I was going to promote, really cute shirt. It has like all the American colors, things like that. Immediately I start getting all sorts of rude comments.
Right away.
Like, you guys didn't even let the thing marinate, and you guys are already like
filtered comments going crazy, yo.
Yeah. So saying like, girl, like, this is not the time. Like, this isn't necessary. Or people were saying, oh, you didn't know we're not celebrating the 4th of July.
Yeah, miss me with that.
So again, even this episode, I thought about it. And every time I'm like overthinking something, I always like, I leave it to God. I'm like, here you go. Bloop. It's yours. It's your problem right now because my brain cannot. And I was like, if it's in your plans, for us to make this episode, which again, we're staying very like neutral. We're just saying like what are we saying?
We're talking about our experiences.
Yes.
We're not talking about what's said on the news or what's on your algorithm. We're talking real life experience of what we've been through. Like, you guys don't know who of my family's been deported, who of Jasmine's family's been deported. Yeah. Like, you guys don't even know that. It's like, that's why it's traumatic to speak about that because, 15 years ago when her mom got picked up by ICE at a court hearing. It's like, you know, that was happening back then too. And you guys are going crazy about it now. It's like, guys, it's hard being in the middle because obviously we were born here and thankfully so. I'm so blessed. I always say that I'm so fortunate to be born here because absolutely. Like my background, if my mom never came to the United States, she wouldn't be here. Her kidneys were failing her. She's had multiple surgeries. Her life ain't perfect, but this country has given her opportunity to extend it because of, the medical care. And also my dad, hitting it hard at work, working for SRP, 33 years, technically only has one hand, luckily have health insurance. She was able to get treatment, but it always wasn't perfect as well too. So that's another aspect that's like the medical system hasn't been the best to my mom either. So it's like, immigration status, medical status, and just real life in general is like, we know the struggle too. We've had family deported. Back when, certain presidents were presidents, my mom she couldn't go to the doctor because she owed money. Yeah. Getting turned away. It's like, my dad grew up middle class. Like, we were middle class technically because he had, a blue collar job. But when you're in medical debt like that, it's like, and you go to get blood work at a certain place, they're turning you back because of that, because of a certain law that they put into action. And it's like, we've been affected from every aspect. Yeah. But we're still like very blessed and fortunate to be here. And it's like, as far as me, my dad's side, for what I know, my dad's side has been here 5 generations, but also Mexican American, like obviously, and that would be neat to look into too, like exactly tracing back your roots to know exactly where you come from. It's like, but at the end of the day, it's not where you're from, it's where you're at. And that's why I was talking to your brother today. I'm like, hey, the thing that gets me is like, I get it. You love where you're from, but it's like, but the fact that you don't acknowledge this place for giving us this opportunity, I'm like, to me, that don't sit well with me because at the end of the day, I think you have to acknowledge it. Like, especially as a man, if you don't acknowledge that, then man, it's unfortunate because we truly live like in the greatest land that ever was conceived, not only by God's right, but whatever you put in here is what you get out because we come from the hood. We come from the, like, and you can really make it out. You just have to put the work into it.
See, and that's the thing that's something that I like strongly believe in is what you put in is what you get out. Yeah. I got here when I came back in 2019. When I came back in 2019, my mom had $20 that she had like folded like really cute like behind her phone, like on her phone case, and that's what she gave me. Damn. Because my sister bought me the bus tickets to come back after I almost lost my life to like domestic violence and stuff. So my sister buys me the bus tickets and my mom's like, this is what I have. She gave me $20 and it was like a 20-hour drive, bus ride. And so I technically got here with $20. Literally. I got here with $20 and 4-5 years later, we own a home. We own 2 cars. I technically have my own business, like, you know, influencing and
You're
all
an
the
entrepreneur.
affiliate. Yeah. But I literally put in the work every single day, no matter like Saturday, Sunday, my birthday, all of that. Like, I'm always looking for ways to grow, or going to network events. Like, we have 3 kids. It's hard to go to those events, but every single time I try to make it there. We've started our own businesses that then we've left, like the car detailing, the photography. That is how great this country is, that you can explore whatever you want. Like, you can, it's opened. It's open. Go for it. Put in the work and you're going to see the results.
The checkbook is blank. You're gonna, you know what I mean?
And in other countries, you don't have that opportunity. You're very limited. Also, because the moment, I mean, didn't my brother explain to you the other day? He's like, if you're in Mexico riding around in that truck, if somebody wants it, they're gonna drag you out of it because they want to. Because they have more power.
Yeah. Like, literally, I drive a truck where he's from, that if they see 4x4, they're going to take it from you. And it's like, you can't call the authorities. You can't.
Yeah, you can't.
Like, what are you going to do about it?
Nothing.
Here, man, you call the cop. That's why I'm like, man, you know, we live in such an amazing place. If something's going on, you dial the 911, they get there, you know, within a reasonable time, they will lay down their life for you.
Yeah.
Like, there's bad apples everywhere, but I remember one time I was driving home from Gila Bend, working at the power plants, working 12-hour days. Yeah, I kind of got a little nervous, so I jumped behind somebody. So he pulled me over for tailgating, right? You know, in those times, it was like 2018, you know, you couldn't get pulled over if you're like a person of color. Well, I got pulled over right in front of the prison. And he asked me, you know, do you have any weapons? Yeah, it's right underneath, you know what I mean? And all he did, you know, asked me to get out and ran my name real quick, seeing that, you know, everything was legit. He went about his way. Like, you know what I'm saying? He obviously had to do his job because, you know, I did get behind that car and I tailgate or whatever. So, but he seen everything was clean. You know, it's like, man, there's so many great things about this country that people don't talk about. Yeah, it's not perfect like anywhere else, but if we just emphasize the small stuff, like, you know, it's tragic. People are getting deported, but that's been going on. Not only that, but there's actual criminals that are with like court orders that people are stopping. Is like, if I break the law, I'm going to jail. Yeah. Like, that's plain and simple. If I do fraud, if I do XYZ, I'm going to jail. Yeah. And I can't run to another country and do that because they had that scapegoat. Like, hey, if I'm not run from here, I do something wrong or something like that. Just like our other brother-in-law got rear-ended, west side of Phoenix. The car, I'm gonna pull over, and they take off. Yeah. You know, you don't got to be Albert Einstein to figure that out. You know, that's no insurance or no papers. That's not discriminating. It's just the truth. It's like people like that, and I'm not saying that's everybody. It's just, you know, they can, you know, just vanish. Yeah. Well, if we commit something, we're going to jail. We're being held accountable versus you can't just boogie out to Mexico like that.
Exactly. And I feel like that's where people don't see, like they have so much emotion built up when they hear that word, right? Like, you know, police or immigration, things like that. And it's like, guys, like, it's like you mentioned, my mother was deported at a court hearing. This was in 2013. So, like, right now the news is playing that there is ICE at these court hearings and people are just bamboozled. Like, they think that has never existed. And it's like, in 2013, my mother like presented herself at a court and she came out in handcuffs by ICE in 2013.
And they dropped her off at the border, huh?
And they dropped her off. Like, there is nothing new going on. This has been going on, but now there's a lot more of social media. You know, we have TikTok. There's people recording everywhere. And I feel like back then it wasn't a lot of that. But just here to tell you guys that this has been a thing for a long time.
Yep.
In 2013, my mother was deported from a court hearing. So I feel like we have to really like know when it's time for like our emotions and when it's time for like facts and stuff. And I think people were really getting like irritated with me when like I wasn't giving them what they wanted to hear. They wanted me to, you know, like
they wanted you to be on the front lines.
Yeah.
And marching like, and just and that's the thing. I feel like a lot of like influencers literally finesse their own.
So here's the thing, when like that started happening, I started like putting together this puzzle that a lot of influencers, it was almost like they were reading off of a script.
Literally.
Like it, that to me, that's what it sounded like. And since people wanted me to come out and talk, I made a short video mentioning a lot of the things that I mentioned right now. I just made it shorter. Mm-hmm. But I was like, hey, you guys aren't gonna get out of me like, oh, I don't like it here. I don't like this country, things like that, because everything that I have now, like I wouldn't have been able to do that anywhere else. Yep. Like this country just gave me so many opportunities, and like you said, we're so blessed to be born here.
We're so lucky, literally.
Because you're very limited to things in other countries. So you're not going to get like all this hate stuff out of me, because I don't hate it here. I don't hate this country. All the opposite. Yeah, exactly. Of course, my heart is with people that are suffering, or people that get like separated from families when it's not, you know, fair, when it's done like the wrong way, things like that. But that's not going to make me not want to be here, or it's not going to make me go and riot and go like destroy my own community.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And that's where people really need to learn how to separate like your feelings and your facts and things like that. And honestly, leave people alone when it comes to these things.
They're like harassing, and it's like, check this out. So I think we're in middle school, and you know, I was bad. I was like academically good, but once I started hanging out with the wrong people, I just went downhill. So I seen that the high schoolers were ditching, and their helicopter was following them. That was during the SB 1070 protest. So I jumped the fence and joined them. We literally walked from 75th and Indian School all the way to the Capitol. That's a long ways. But the crazy thing about it, I didn't know what I was marching for. I just tagged along. Like, and I'm pretty sure in these crowds, there's a lot of me's running around in there. Just for the cause.
Absolutely.
You don't even know what's going on. You just know that you know, they're passing laws against us, and you got to turn up and all this and that. I mean, we weren't like destroying property. We just literally walked over there, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like, if I could go back, I wouldn't have left school. I wish I could have stayed in school. I wish I would have took school more serious. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm just like, that's a free education, but it's also paid by the people that wake up every day and hit it hard, you know?
Exactly.
So it's like, everybody puts their part in here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, whatever you put in, you can get out. And it don't matter what background you're from, race, religion, you can get it. I mean, just look at, it's kind of this newer generation that cries and complains, but if you go back to our parents and grandparents, they came here not even knowing Spanish. No English, and they came and just worked hard and made a life. To this day, a lot of them still don't even talk English, so it's like, they don't even speak, and it's like, USA doesn't have a technical language, but it's predominantly English. But in the southern states, it's predominantly, you know, a lot of Latinos. So it's like, they can make a life in a nation that they don't even speak the language technically, and it's just crazy. We're so blessed to be here, but it's like, we don't forget where we come from. I love being Mexican American. Like, I love having a great work ethic, show up and just try to outwork everybody respectfully. But it's like, you know, we love to grind, but it's also, we have to work smarter.
Yeah.
Now, obviously have the work ethic, but we also have to look for better opportunities, educating ourselves, and separating emotion from logic. And we had to continue to educate ourselves. And you have every right to stand up for yourself and your community, because that's your rights here. That's your God-given rights. Those are your amendments. Like, we had to really protect this place and, make the most out of it.
Yeah, that's one thing that I'm like, those are your rights. Go protest. Beautiful, right? But the moment, like, I started seeing, not even that far from our house, people stole a police car.
Literally.
Like, and you guys are saying how things are being so, like, they're unfair and this, that, like, and then you guys are out here doing things, like, making things worse, making things look absolutely worse. And that's where I was like, no. Like, for one, it's not safe. I have 3 kids to come home to. Like, people lost their lives. There was states that people lost their lives, like, in these riots, protests. And I'm like, absolutely not. I have kids to come home to. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, as you guys can call me selfish, a traitor, all of these names. But it's like, at the end of the day, I'm a mom.
Yeah.
So, and you can't sit there and tell me, oh, just because, it's not your fight doesn't mean, like, that you can't be in it for us, or, things like that. And it's like, dude, like, it's been my fight.
Yeah.
I literally came home to no mom.
Literally.
And my dad had already also, like, been deported, but that's a whole nother, like, story. He had to go.
Yeah.
So let's go.
Ship him back.
Him send him back. But, like, my mom, we came home to no mom. So, yes, I know exactly what it is. And
she didn't have it easy. She had to work 2 jobs, take care of 5 kids.
Just how everybody always says, like, oh, they're taking the hard workers and this and that. My mom always had 2 jobs. And again, like, things weren't fair for her. But that's not going to make me hate it here, because because I've already lived somewhere else. And I wouldn't go back. We do go to Mexico.
And you have the time of your life when you go back, but it's like,
I love coming back.
It would be nice if we could go back and, like, visit our roots safely.
Yeah.
And not just treat it like a vacation.
So, like,
I
love going to go visit my mom, and I love going to Mexico. But, like, when I come back, it's just, like, this, like, relief, and I love coming back. Now, where I used to live and where my dad lives now, you can't go.
Yeah.
You cannot go there. So that's, like, off limits. And I would love to go there because, I did live there for, like, 8 years of my life.
And it's beautiful over there.
It's beautiful. But unfortunately, you just can't. You can't go there.
Okay, so, like, I look back and I reflect on my life. I'm always reflecting because I feel like you always have to think, and, you always got to acknowledge your mistakes too. Like, man, did I talk to that person kind of harshly? Because I'm kind of blunt, so I'm like, a lot of people get rubbed the wrong way. They're like, oh, he's a jackass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, it's all love. It's just, I don't know. It's like, man, when you're a hard charger, sometimes you're like a bull in a china shop with good intentions, though,
Yeah.
And, I didn't make the best decisions when I grew up. Growing up, when I reflect, I think about, like, my parents, like, when I used to play football and all that. Like, I feel like they were really proud. And obviously, when I started hanging around in the streets, they were, like, worried about me, lost my friends to it. And, going through a lot, and I think back, and I'm just like, for our kids, like, I want to see them live, like, the dream I never got to because, younger, because you always want to make your parents proud, and it's like, making mistakes young, didn't graduate high school, got in the trades, but, like, it's been hard in the trades, but, like, joining the union, I've been there almost 10 years. I make a good wage, and, obviously we have a good wage, and it's something I can always fall back on, and I feel like that's not pushed a lot. Is like the trades. If you don't want to go to school, join the trades. Yeah. You make good money, and it's like, even though I made a lot of mistakes while I was young, like, you could still turn it around, and you could still make it happen, because that's a lifelong skill of me becoming a mechanical insulator. I have that in my books. Yeah. I have a journeyman's card. Yeah. I can leave the union and come back, and I still make a great wage. Yeah. I don't have to start at the bottom, and it's like, I made mistakes, but there's still opportunity. That's not the end all be all. Like, and like you said, you came in here in 2019. By 4 years, you already had a house. Yeah. No less. How much?
3. In 2 years, I was able to get my
2 years apartment, and then basically another 2 years a house, brand new house. And you used to laugh when I used to be on Zillow in our apartment, and it's like, when I was going through school, like, we struggled. Oh yeah. There's times I would make more on the check, but with everything they take away from me, you would technically make more. I just had a higher wage. It's just all the deductions. Yeah. Like, not seeing the money, going through school, going through all the bullshit, Yeah. You know how the trades are. They treat you rough, but you got to go through the fire to become golden. And I look back, I'm glad those old school cats were hard on me, because it gave me that work ethic, made me more resilient. Yeah. And then now, I could show the younger generation that's coming up in the trade, like, you got to have the work ethic, but you know what I mean? You can't be a gatekeeper, Yeah. And it's like me going through school, boom, boom, boom. Then I finally turned out. Then I finally started seeing the money. And then when you took time off work, I was holding it down with the job, with my job, and just really becoming a team. This place literally gives you endless opportunities, but also, we can't just bear these burdens by ourselves. Always seek, like, his righteousness, because you feel like there's a lot of us that feel like we don't fit in this world, you know. And it's like, because we're not of this world, we're just here for a short time. And it's like, just like King Solomon, if you seek knowledge and wisdom, everything else will come to you. But growing up in our culture, there's no people that teach us wisdom or philosophy, or there's no stoic men no more. I don't know. I know good, hardworking men, but not the stoic ones that, dive deep into philosophy. And just like, growing up, when did somebody tell you, hey, that's a law of attraction? Oh, never. You never heard that? Never. But growing up, when you're headed down the right path, you come across stuff like that. Like, I remember I used to literally drive to work listening to, Napoleon Hill, stuff like that, Think and Grow Rich, and instead of hearing rap music in general, driving to work, I'm listening to, like, knowledge. Yeah. Because when you thirst for knowledge, it'll come to you, Yeah. And it's like, in this land, it don't matter if you're a reject or what. If you're the black sheep of the family, you could be the goat of the family.
Well, I've always
You could turn it around, and you're a perfect example, because nobody believed in you when you were a kid. Yeah. And it's like, look at me now. It's like, the works that, all the trials and tribulations you went through, and you're like, man, she ain't gonna be nothing. She just had 2 kids, young. She ain't gonna amount to nothing. Like, yeah. And then boom, it's like, you see the glow up.
That's literally, like, what it was like my entire life. I think also being, like, my family always called me, like, the rebel of the family, because I say, again, like, I was, like, setting, like, kind of boundaries and stuff, and to them it was like, you're bad, you're bad. But I was like, I could call people out. Yeah. How it was. But sometimes it's just like, just don't do it. Like, there's families that are like, no, just let anything, like, slide by. And I feel like I've always been the person to, like, call it how it is, right in front of you. And to my family, it was always like, I was bad.
Attitude, rebel.
Yeah, I had an attitude. I was a rebel because I would, like, call things out, things like that. I dropped out of high school, and I think that was, like, that did it for, like, everybody. I think when that happened, like, after I had Kevin, and then I dropped out of high school, I stopped going to like family events, like family work stuff, because like everybody would just like look at me like over their shoulder.
Yeah.
Like I was literally nothing. And then when I went to Mexico, it was like worse. It was like, no, like she's literally, I was nothing. That was literally how I felt. And then throw on top, like being in a domestic like violence, like household and stuff, like it just made everything worse. And again, comes to show how great it is here that I got here with $20 to my name. And my plan, like, I was like, if my sister doesn't take me in, I'm going to go look into a shelter. That was my thought. I was like, I'm going to take like the nearest, like the bus to like the nearest like shelter downtown, and I'll figure it out. Yeah. But I wanted to be safe. You know, I came here because I knew I was going to be safe away from that person that was causing all that harm to me. So, but luckily my sister took me in, but like we said in the previous episode, she had her rules. You know, you can be here for a year. Yeah. You need to figure it out. And because she knows that that's possible. If you're not just spending your money, if you're dialed in, if you're working, you can make it happen.
Yeah, working
towards
like, your goals, you know?
In 9 months, I was able to move out to my apartment. I had bought a car. Yes, it was like an old car, whatever, but it was literally taking me from point A to B. Yep. I wasn't walking in the heat anymore. And all of that in less than a year. In less than a year, to have your apartment, your car, all of this that I couldn't do in 8 years in another country. You cannot make me hate this place.
Yeah.
Because I was able to do that. And when I had that, when I had the apartment and then my car, I was like, what else? What else? I got here, and in less than a month, I started working at Goodwill. And then a month later, I have 2 jobs. I'm working at Amazon. And 2 months later, I quit both of those jobs to go into a better job.
Yeah, better paying.
And then, like, all of these things, like, so if you, like, that's one thing. If you just get up and go get it, like, there's so much out here for you. And like you said, it doesn't matter your color, like your race, whatever. Like, if you get up and you make it happen, it's going to happen. Yo. Stop whining. We have this great place. We have these great opportunities. We're not limited here.
No.
We're free.
You're free to do whatever you want. And it's like, if you just going to waste your life, it is what it is. Like, the world is going to keep on turning. Yeah. But it's like, while you're here, leave your mark. Because, you know, I truly believe that both of us were sent to break certain generational curses that's been holding us back.
Yeah.
And maybe you being young, your parents didn't see that because they're not, like, they don't thirst for knowledge like that. They didn't see that you're a righteous one.
Yeah.
That's came to change their generations, you know, because obviously they're hard workers, man. I wouldn't change my parents a million times over, pick them every single time. You know what I mean? But, like, whatever they liked, we had to, you know, get better at. And then we're not perfect. Our kids have to get better than us, you know. The student always has to surpass the teacher, you know, if things are done right. And that's the beauty of life is, you know, progressing and just evolving and be like, man, that person that from 2015, he don't exist no more.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a whole nother creation. Like, I'm evolving. And we just had to really take advantage of the time we're here and the opportunities. But we also had to stand up for what's right. And this country gives us this ability with our God-given rights. You know, you have the right to assembly.
Yeah.
The right to bear arms. You know, the right to they can't enter your home illegally, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, we're so protected here, and it's like the saying goes, once weak men are around and we create hard times like this, we're like, the world's upside down. Is like 10 years. When we grew up, a lot of the problems we have wouldn't exist because most of it's just common sense.
Yeah.
And just like our parents said, you got to wake up and get it. But nowadays, people just want like a free check.
Yeah.
You want to stand around and make the same as this guy. And it's like, we've had that problem our whole life, working harder than everybody. We show up to a job site. This guy's just making $2 more because he's snitching on everybody.
Yeah.
Especially in the trades. Like, I'm like, literally came in, they fired 2 guys. I'm literally doing what 2 guys have done production-wise because now the boss is happy, stuff's getting done.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to worry anymore because he got a competent person around. So it's like, but it's also, if you have seek a mentor, guys. Like me looking back, I wish I would have like cried out for that. A mentor, because when you give up on sports, my dad was busy working swing shift. My dad was a great dad, but he wasn't there after school, so I was in the streets. My mom was always sick, so she couldn't go look for me, so I'd run the streets all day long after school. But it's like if you have a coach or a mentor, somebody leads you in the right direction, you kind of avoid a lot of hardships. Obviously, you have to go through your trials and tribulations, but I think us, too, is like we always try to put people on game. Hey, I was in that same shoes, but here's my advice. I would suggest you to do this or this, but that's just my suggestion.
Yeah.
I've been there before. So it's like, and we're not biased. We treat everybody like the way we wish we got treated when we needed somebody. The way I say is like, we're the beacons of light, that we're like the lighthouse that's shining into the sea when ships are lost, and it's like, you have to be that beacon of light because people get lost in this world with finances and just, maybe they get devastated a lot and they just give up.
Yeah.
Like us that are anchored and more resilient, we have to be those beacons of light. And it's like, hey, man, I did it. You can do it too. We come from the same beginnings. I know you might not have as much mental resilience, but I can help you. I can support you. If you need words of encouragement, I'm right here for you, brother,
and
sister.
I think as much as it sucks that we had to go through that, I'm kind of grateful and glad that we had to go through that so our kids don't have to go through that. Yeah. Because I feel like because, we have the trauma and stuff of our parents, being so busy, like working, things like that. Me too. I don't have memories with my mom.
Yeah.
Like, it's very weird when me and my sisters sit down, we don't talk about things like that.
Yo.
We did. Do you remember this Christmas? No. My mind is a blur for Christmas because we were by ourselves waiting for my mom to get home from her second shift. I don't want to remember my childhood. So I'm glad that I had to go through that so the kids don't have to go through that. Because now I know exactly what, I don't want to throw it all on my mom too because it's her first time living too.
Yeah.
But it's like now I'm like, I know that the kids need my time more than the money, than all of that. I'm blessed and I'm grateful that I'm able also to give them all these things. But I'm glad that I'm able to do all of this at home and we were able to spend more time with them. Yes, you have, a job where you physically have to go into, but, you're home by 1 p.m., 3 p.m., and you can spend that time with them. I feel like our parents were just work.
Yeah, there was no time.
There was no time. So it kind of ties back to, again, all of the opportunities that we have. You can do whatever you want to do as long as you get up and work for it and just make things better for our kids and the next generations.
Yeah, it's like tomorrow we're going camping. We've been basically consistently camping for 4 years straight now in a place where I grew up camping. It's so beautiful, the traditions here that you can have and celebrating.
Yeah. For
a lot of us, that 1776, the people, the people truly have the power here, and we can never forget that, And that day, and it's not only that, the people that laid their life for this country selflessly, like, paid the ultimate sacrifice. Like, we can never repay them for that sacrifice. And, you know, you can't let that die in vain. And I'm proud to be born here, but I'm also proud to be Mexican. But, you know, the people that gave their life to this country, like, you know, to me, this weekend is so special. Like,
I'm going to tell you something really quick before we start wrapping it up, that I was actually like thinking, I think 4th of July, it's gonna make some people really upset, but I think 4th of July has to be like my favorite holiday, because it's finally like a holiday. Like I was telling you when we first started, we go camp, we unplug, like we're literally out there and we're having the best time. Our kids are having the best time. We're making s'mores and just everything slows down. And it's not like about like how every other holiday, it's giving, Valentine's, giving, dinner, Christmas, giving, dinner, like all of this, like gifts and stress and all of this. And I feel like 4th of July is like the only holiday where like I'm not stressed.
Yeah, you're enjoying your time.
I enjoy the time. And as like, you know, like I said, people will get annoyed by that, but it's literally my favorite holiday, I would say.
I look forward to it, and, you know, we're truly free here, and the opportunities here, you have every right to stand up for what you believe in. But as far as us, we're very grateful to be here.
Yeah.
We love where we come from, but we also love where we're from. We love it here. Like, this land has given us so much opportunity, and hopefully one day we're able to go back to Mexico and truly visit it, not just treat it like a vacation, you know?
Yeah, like tourism.
Truly, you know, be there like, you know, freely like we're here, because I feel like you got to be like on point over there, because you just never know.
Well, I was like recently talking to my dad, and I asked him like about his sisters and things like that. They're usually like pretty good at getting together like every 2 weeks. And he's like, well, it's been 10 months. He's like, that you can't have gatherings in the state where he lives. Like if they see a gathering, they're going to break that up like immediately, or there's like, you know, bad things can happen immediately.
A curfew.
So yeah, there's a curfew. So again, like that's not freedom. And I hope that one day like that can change. And I hope that instead of like people being upset of like what we're proud of, I hope that people can take a little bit of it and see like both sides.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I've already lived in both countries. I'm a dual citizen. I know what it's like, and I wouldn't change this for anything.
Exactly.
I'm proud to be Mexican American, and that's it.
Yep, I'm proud to be Mexican American. It's what makes us. Like, we have to embrace it. We acknowledge, you know, our roots, but we also acknowledge, you know, being blessed to be born here. And, you know, guys, you can truly make whatever you want of yourself in this land, and just hit it hard. Like, wake up every day and truly treat it like it's your last. You have to be grateful. I get to do this. Mm-hmm. Oh, I have to go to work. I get to go to work. I get to, you know, come home to my kids. I get to get in my car. Like, guys, we truly have to take advantage of this gift that we call life. So I believe in you. The good Lord believes in you. So, you know, once this message reach you, I hope you can work towards your goals, because like I heard before, you're successful as long as you're progressively working towards your goal. I don't care what that is. As long as you're going from A to B, if you're in the middle, you're successful. You're progressively working towards your goal. So by that definition, you're successful. So as long as you're working and grinding, you know, you're successful. Don't let nobody get to you or criticize you. You know, you're truly a blessing. You're one of one, and you're unique in your own ways. And just hit it hard. We only get one life, and we love you guys. We truly love our community. So it's like, hey, we're not picking sides. We're on the side of the truth. Yeah. We love our community, and, you know, we love our land. So let's be united instead of fighting and being divided. Let's do it the right way, guys, and you know what I mean? Stick up for what's right, and that's your God-given ability, you know? So
yeah. I think that's the most important thing, you know, stay united. Whenever you are feeling like overwhelmed, you know, talk about it. Talk about it, reach out to us.
Yeah.
Our DMs are always opened, but
we're here for you guys.
That you guys like this episode, and we'll see you guys next time.
Later.
Bye.